Blessings, my dears, in love and light. Nikki Sutton here. Now, I just wanted to say that synchronicities are off the charts at the moment. When we first start noticing synchronicities, we say, wow, at them. We start thinking, okay, maybe it's not just a few coincidences here and there. Because our brains are trained to brush off these coincidences. And we have a coincidence and then we forget about it. And another one and then we forget about it. But if we wrote them down, we would see there's some kind of pattern forming in reality, wouldn't we? But we don't write them down and we forget. Our brains just tend to forget. But we get onto a spiritual path, or this might put us on a spiritual path. We notice the synchronicities happening and we accept them. And we start to see that there's a pattern here. It's not just chance, it might be by design. And maybe we start writing them down. So initially we say, wow, isn't that interesting? And then forget about it. Oh, wow, a coincidence, and then forget about it. But then it becomes more than that. It's more than a wow. It's like, this is crazy. Like, what's the end game here? What is communicating with me? Because it looks like something is trying to talk to me. Now, at the moment, many people are going through awakenings, and one of the things they start to notice and start accepting is the fact that synchronicities are happening and that someone or something is trying to communicate with them, perhaps reality. But as you go down your spiritual path, it really is like, okay, so this is happening. What do I do? What is this? So when I say synchronicities, I mean, it might be numbers. You might see 1111, that's a very common one. And the reason why it's a very common one is because it's a very common one. People recognise that synchronicities are happening in the form of 1111. And so reality says, okay, if that's the way you're going to recognise it, here you go. If you're paying attention to that, creation will give you that because it's time to pay attention. Same if you see 2s or 3s or different combinations of numbers. So you think about, what does that mean to you? What's happening at that moment? What was I thinking? What does my intuition say it means? I know in numerology different numbers have different meanings, and you can look those up and that be your meanings. But you can have your own meanings, and that will be why it's happening for you. That's the communication for you. Synchronicities can also happen in the form of, as I said, coincidences or information falling on your path at just the right time. Now, say I've got a session in a week's time. I will often have 2 or 3 or 4 bits of information fall in my lap. Now, I don't know, this is for a reason coming up to the session, but I'll go into the session and look back and there's been maybe 4 bits of information or events that have happened, or I've been reminded of things that will help me in that session that the person needs to hear. Now, those to me are synchronicities. It may be my guides doing it, putting information in my path. It may be reality just attracting it to me, magnetising it to me, because it's what that person needs to hear when I get into that session. Or when I'm doing a video coming up, information will fall in my path and people will say things to me. My boyfriend will say something to me, or my mum will say something to me that's relevant, or I'll come upon a book, or someone will send me a link. And it will be the catalyst for new realizations for me that I can say to you guys. And this happens to you. And it helps you on your path. So as you move down your spiritual path, the more you accept synchronicities are happening to you, the more they will come. It's like you say yes to synchronicities, and the more they come. Reality says, okay, here you go. Because you're obviously accepting your path, accepting your journey of learning and experience and expansion, expanding consciousness. So here you go. Here's communication. Here's more catalyst for your journey. Here's more experience for your journey. Here's what you need. It must be what you need. And creation always gives you what you need for your learning and experience. It may be something negative that you need. and it gives it you for your learning and experience. But now we're going into the realms of law of attraction. There is a bit of a fine line between synchronicity and law of attraction. It's all one reality, isn't it? But synchronicities are those things that seem like coincidences. How did that happen? Maybe it's by design. So by setting your intention, creation responds. By setting your intention, reality communicates with you. So let's say I set my intention to be able to receive communications from reality regarding my work, and then they'll come. If you close the door to that by saying, just a coincidence, I brush it off, then it won't happen so much. Because you're not ready. And creation knows what you know, and creation gives you what you need. So it's like you're interacting with the matrix, aren't you? You're interacting with this reality itself. And whether it's beings that are placing the synchronicities in front of you, like spirit guides or your higher self, it's still all creation interacting with you. It might just be the fabric of reality, of creation, interacting with you. Who knows? Use your intuition. For me, I often feel it's my guides placing synchronicities there for me, but reality does it too, because it's just what is attracting to me, the information that comes. I might see a pattern in reality to do with something. Let's say Chinese medicine, I might see a pattern in my reality. I have videos recommended to me. People talk about it. I have thoughts about it. I have dreams about it. And there's usually some end game to all of this. I'll need to tell it to someone. I'll need to, some purpose for it. Maybe it's just for my own learning. Now, some people say to me that synchronicities are happening to them and they don't know why. Crazy synchronicities, like seeing lots of numbers, but there is no end game to it. They follow the numbers and there doesn't seem to be any destination. Some people follow the numbers and it takes them to a life purpose. But others, they receive the synchronicities and still no end point, still no point to it. What's the point? Maybe the point is just the path. Maybe the point is just experiencing that there is no point. Feeling that frustration, perhaps, is the point of repetitive cycles and patterns appearing in your reality, and you needing to look at that, analyse that, talk about it. Maybe it will cause you to talk about it with others. Maybe it will cause you to make new friends because you're desiring to talk about it with others of a similar way of thinking to you. There may be hidden purposes in these synchronicities that you are not aware of, and you may never even realise what the purpose was, but there may have been one. So if you're receiving synchronicities that are happening to you, you're seeing patterns in reality, if you can't figure out that purpose or reason for it, maybe you're not meant to figure it out. Maybe you will eventually. Use your intuition. It may just be comforting for you. It may just be taking you down a particular path. It may be just leading you in a certain direction or to certain people. So the synchronicities, say yes when they come, and you'll receive even more catalyst for your learning and experience. And synchronicities are usually always with the highest intentions and greatest good. And you can make sure of that by practicing your protection as well. When you start receiving these messages, say, I only wish to receive synchronicities with the highest intention and greatest good for my utmost well-being and things like that. So synchronicities, as I said, are off the charts at the moment, and lots of people are reporting them. And as the vibration rises, as we make our ascension, creation is communicating with more and more people to help us make those jumps in consciousness and ascend more. And it's helpful for those who are having an awakening too. There's proof that reality is an energetic, information-based one and is interacting with us all the time. So, what great and amazing synchronicities have you been experiencing at the moment? Leave them in the comments below and let me and others know about them and get the discussion going. I wish you much love, and don't forget to click subscribe because we're raising the mass vibration together. So go now, in love and peace.